evening, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me. My name's Cashel and I try every week to recite a true crime case to you. I try my best. I hope everyone's had a fabulous week. I'm still sweating my tits off because I've just filmed same set from last week. Yeah, it's hot and I've still got dogs that are dying, so if you hear them panting, that's what that is. Do apologise. I don't know if my mic will even pick it up, but if it does, that's what that is. I don't have any housekeeping this week because my brain's not quite all there. I can't think straight because I'm so hot. So today I'm going to try my absolute best to tell you about the case of Tina and Gabe Watson, also known as the scuba diving honeymoon murder. This one's very interesting and I think a lot of people do have strong opinions on it. I know I do. So let me know your thoughts once I've got to the end. What was meant to be a perfect honeymoon turned into a cold, watery grave. And what followed was a tangled web of lies, legal loopholes, and a husband whose versions of events kept changing. This is the story of Tina Watson, a young bride who died just days after saying I do, and a husband who walked free in more ways than one. Christina May Thomas, known to her friends as Tina, was born February 13th, 1977, in West Germany, but she was raised in the US. On the 24th of January 1980, she was legally adopted by Tommy and Cindy Thomas. They lived in Walker Country, Alabama, with her younger sister before they moved to Louisiana. She was sweet, kind-hearted, and had a strength about her. She was bubbly and smart and she would light up a room. By the time she was 20, she was living in Alabama and she was working at a small record company. She was living with a heart condition known as PSVT, which basically just means she's got an abnormally fast heart rate. She had required surgery earlier on in life to help with this condition, but she didn't let that stop her in any way, shape or form. And then came along Gabe Watson. Gabe was a trained diver and he was 2 years older than Tina. Two of them met at university. When Gabe first met Tina, he kept asking her out, but she kept declining because she was with someone else. She had a boyfriend, so she kept saying no. He came across as charming and level-headed. He would be what is known as like a safe choice of partner. The pair began dating in January of 2001 after Tina had obviously split with her current partner. David Gabriel Watson was described as a nice guy, friendly and easy to get along with. I don't trust nice guys. After graduation, Tina got a job managing a retail store and Gabe worked at his father's packaging business. Gabe absolutely loved scuba diving and would go regularly. It was his absolute passion and he would eventually go on to be a certified rescue diver. Tina was nowhere as into scuba diving as Gabe was, but because it was his hobby and his passion, she wanted to know more about it and she wanted to be able to do it with him. January 2003, Tina started getting diving lessons. Her family were quite concerned about this because of her heart problems, but like I say, she wanted to be able to do it with Gabe. She wanted to be able to share his passion with him, which is so sweet. February of 2003, Gabe asked Tommy, Tina's dad, for permission to marry his daughter, which Tommy appreciated, but he also wasn't really sure of him, so he didn't really give him an answer. He didn't say no, but he also didn't say yes. But April 20th, 2003, Gabe proposed to Tina and she said yes. Tina got everything sorted. She planned everything, bless her. She had planned a traditional church wedding and a dream honeymoon. They were going to Australia for 2 weeks. The first week in Sydney and the second week in Queensland. And she'd even planned scuba diving excursions. I think she'd planned like 20 or something insane. And one of them was on like the Great Barrier Reef because she wanted to make her husband happy. She was a sweetheart. October 11th, 2003, the pair got married and the day after they went on their honeymoon. And Tina actually ended up earning her certification to be a qualified scuba diver just before the wedding. So this is why I don't trust anyone who calls himself a nice guy, because immediately after the wedding, cracks had started to show. Gabe was described by some friends as quite controlling. He asked Tina to change her life insurance policy into his name, making him the sole beneficiary. He also told her to change her will, and he wanted to be in charge of where they were doing the dives. He changed all the dive locations. And maybe most alarmingly, he tried to get her to cut her medication. She had to take medication for her heart problems, and he was encouraging her to like cut it down, like cut down the meds you're supposed to take. Are you a doctor? No? Shut up then. So it was quite apparent that he was not the nice guy that he was making himself out to be. And I think during one of their arguments, he threw a pizza at Tina. Who does that? Red flags all over the place. So now we're on the honeymoon. It's October 22nd, 2003, and Gabe and Tina were going diving off the coast of Queensland. They were going to like one of the most famous diving locations I think you can maybe go to. I don't know, I'm not a diver, couldn't think of anything worse. But it was the Yongola shipwreck, which sunk in 1911. The dive site isn't really suggested, I believe, for beginners. It's known for its strong currents and deep descent. So it was for people who had more diving experience than what Tina had. So Gabe would have been fine, but it wasn't really recommended for Tina. This would be Tina's 11th dive, and she had limited ocean experience and had never gone below 9 meters deep, whereas Gabe had 55 dives. He was qualified and he was a certified rescue diver. Remember that bit. The diving company that was hosting the dive offered an orientation and a guided dive, so you'd have a instructor go down with you, which Gabe refused and then went on to list his credentials. I've got 55 dives, I'm a certified rescue diver. You can just imagine it, can't you? And he rejected, obviously, having the trained diver with them. And I think Tina was okay with this because she obviously thought, if anything goes wrong, Gabe's there, my husband's there to look after me if anything happens. So Gabe had asked for additional weights for Tina's, I believe it's a vest or a belt, because he didn't think she'd be able to get down into the shipwreck. So she got them on, all is well, they get into the water. And as they descended into the water, something went wrong, or at least that's what Gabe claims. According to Gabe, Tina panicked. He tried to help her, but Tina was panicking and she knocked off his mask. And so when he was trying to get his mask back on his face, he then saw that Tina had sank quickly. So what did the rescue diver do? He resurfaced to get help. He didn't try and fucking rescue her, he resurfaced to get help. There's an instructor down there called Wade, and he saw Tina sinking. So he goes, grabs her, brings her up, and gives her CPR for the next 30 minutes. When the divers found Tina, it was quite clear that she had drowned. But Gabe was already back on the boat. He wasn't on the same boat as Tina, because Tina had been taken to a different boat. Gabe also said to them that he'd never brought anyone back to the surface before, so he didn't know what to do. The certified rescue diver never brought anyone back. What do you do when you're training to be a rescue diver? Surely you have to bring someone up. That's the point, no? Wade said it was unusual that she sank and had sank as quickly as she had. So when he was trying to bring her back up, he realised she had all these weights on and actually had to take her weights off, her weight belt off, to get her up. Tina was actually wearing 20 pounds worth of weights when actually she only needed 8. That's massively too much. I don't know if that was great English. Tina and Gabe are now on different boats because Gabe had gone up to the original boat and Tina had been rescued and was on another boat. So you'd think he would try and get on that boat to see how his wife's doing, to see if she's all right, what happened. No. He was, however, going around and asking everyone for hugs, which makes me so uncomfortable to think about that. That's just strange behaviour. But poor Tina was unable to be saved, despite Wade's best efforts, and she unfortunately passes away. So if you're on the same page as me already, something's not adding up. Tina was found lying upright on the ocean floor. She was about 30 meters deep and had her arms flailed out. It was like she was frozen in fear, which is such a haunting image. Gabe's a trained rescue diver. He didn't even attempt to bring her back up. Multiple divers said that Gabe was not frantic, he was not panicking, he was just totally calm, which is, again, weird. And one of the divers said that Gabe refused to go back in to try and help her, which, what the fuck? The things that Gabe said, he said that her body was in one location, and it absolutely was not. It was not where she was found at all. He said that he'd also encountered 2 other divers on his way back up and had kind of signalled them for help, but there wasn't anyone there. They don't exist. Well, they might have existed, but they weren't there. He didn't signal anyone for help. And also he's wearing a dive computer as well, which kind of I assume logs everything. And he did not rush to get back to the surface at all. He took his sweet time. So immediately the boat crew and the other divers are suspicious. Like I said, there was a lot of other people doing a dive at the same time, and they said that they saw Gabe giving Tina a bear hug. But she was struggling, she was waving her arms, and then she sank. One diver said he didn't do anything. He did not try to save her. And then we've got a motive. the financial aspect. So Gabe had asked Tina to increase her life insurance policy and then have him the sole beneficiary. Also asked for her employee policy to be signed over to him, and she hadn't refused. She had gone and asked her dad to do these things, not the employer one. She said she'd do it, she didn't, thank God. And she'd asked her dad to sort the life insurance policy out, which he thought was odd. And thankfully, I think I might be skipping ahead a bit, he didn't do it. So Australian police immediately were suspicious, as they should have been, and launched an investigation. Part of their theory was that when Gabe was giving Tina a bear hug, he had actually shut off her air supply and then held her underwater until she stopped struggling and let her sink, knowing full well she would not be able to recover or resurface on her own. Gabe was willingly questioned by police, but his story didn't make a lot of sense and it kept changing. Gabe did contact his parents to make them aware of what had happened to Tina. Is it a running theme, these mama's boys, that nothing pisses me off more in these kind of cases? It's like, mummy, please do it for me. He said he didn't want to speak to Tina's parents and tell them what had happened, so he asked them to do it for him. What a fucking pussy. Are you alright? Like, it's your wife's parents. How could you not deliver that horrible news? Disgusting. So the coroner's report in Australia was damning. They thought it was very strange because there was very little water in Tina's lungs, and they had obviously originally thought that Tina had drowned, so this didn't make a lot of sense. And they actually said it's likely that Mr. Watson held her underwater until she stopped struggling. 5 days after Tina had passed away, her body and Gabe went back to the US and her funeral was held. And a lot of people at the funeral said that Gabe was acting inappropriately. Oh God, I forgot about this bit. Think of the worst thing you can say at a funeral. The worst thing you could say at an open casket funeral. He said to his friend at the open casket, "At least her breasts look perky." I don't think I can say anything on that. That's just what the fuck. Someone heard him and they released this to the media because they were horrified, as they should be. What the fuck? Just to add to his bizarre behaviour, okay? So him and Tina used to send out Christmas cards every year. I think it's a very American kind of tradition, you send out a Christmas card. And he sent one out that year with Tina still on it, him and Tina. It was a photo from their wedding. And he wrote on it, "Who's that sexy guy next to Tina? Oh yeah, that's me." What? I'm sorry, I'm laughing because it's just so insane. That is... what? Gabe then tried to file a payout from insurance for the holiday because it was an interrupted trip. So inconvenient for you. I know. How dare she die on your trip? That's so inconvenient for you. You deserve a payout. But the insurance company said, fuck off. It's not covered. Like, scuba diving's not covered, so fuck off. And he also wasn't entitled to the life insurance money because Tommy didn't change it. We love you, Tommy. Tommy didn't believe jack shit that was coming out of Gabe's mouth. And he just wanted to know what had happened to his daughter, as any parent would. So he actually flies to Australia to speak to Wade, the person who brought her up, himself. So the new theory from Australian police was that he turned off her air supply long enough for her to fall unconscious, and then once she was unconscious he'd turned it back on and then let her sink. And they believed that this was during this bear hug that he gave her. After speaking to diving experts, it was clear that Gabe was a big fat fucking liar, because he obviously said that he didn't know how to bring someone back up. But in order to get the certification of being a rescue diver, as I thought earlier, you have to bring someone up. Gabe also lied to the scuba diving company about Tina's experience. And he also didn't mention when he resurfaced that she had been panicking at all. He did not mention that. Oh God, it gets worse. I forgot, it gets worse. So Gabe's just a piece of shit. Just a massive piece of shit. So Tommy, Tina's father, frequently goes to Tina's grave, and he always takes flowers. Like every day he takes flowers. And every time he got back there, the flowers would be gone, and he was like, that's just weird. Like, what's happening to these flowers? Why do they keep vanishing? And next point is that Gabe wanted to have Tina's grave moved to a plot of land that he owned or had bought or reserved. And I don't know how the law works out there with that kind of thing, but I guess because he was the husband, this was granted and Tina was moved. And Gabe didn't even bother to put up a headstone for his wife. That is... And Tommy would keep going to this grave and he'd keep leaving flowers and they'd keep disappearing again. So he was like, what is this? What is going on? Tommy did go to the police about this because he was rightfully so upset. So police ended up setting up a camera and they caught Gabe removing the flowers. His excuse was that Tina didn't like plastic flowers, so he was respecting her wishes. Fuck off. And why not say anything to Tommy? Like, why not say anything to her dad? Like, oh, could you get real flowers? Or something like that. Why would you not just say anything instead of just keep removing them, you fucking freak? So Gabe moved on with his life. He got married. He married a new woman named Kate in 2008. Nope, Kim in 2008. I thought that was too good to be true, it rhymed. And in May 2009, nearly 5 years later, Australian police charged Gabe with manslaughter. He did fight the extradition, but eventually did return to Australia for the trial. Gabe's legal team managed to negotiate a plea deal, which I hate. He would admit to negligent manslaughter, essentially saying he failed to fulfill his duty as her dive buddy, but not that he killed her. He was passed a sentence of just 4.5 years, but the judge suspended it to 12 months. The Alabama Attorney General appealed this sentence because he thought it was bullshit, as it is, which was approved, so it was boosted, but only to 18 months, which is barely nothing, is it? Tina's family, of course, were absolutely devastated by this, and Tommy said that's not justice, it's an insult, which I totally agree. They had long believed that Tina's death was not accidental and that it was in fact premeditated, which I'm with them. So Gabe returned to the US a free man in 2009. But back home in Alabama, prosecutors weren't done, which we love. They filed capital murder charges, claiming that Gabe had planned the murder well before the honeymoon, and that makes it a premeditated crime across all jurisdictions. That was scheduled 13th of February 2012, which would have been Tina's 35th birthday. Tina's family remained hopeful that this time he would face some real consequences, because he hasn't faced shit yet, but Gabe's defense team was annoyingly quite good. They pushed hard and they pointed out inconsistencies in the accounts, lack of underwater footage, and absence of forensic evidence. And even more annoyingly, Australian police and courts would not allow any evidence found in Australia to be used in court in the US. That's wrong, that's a lie. That's a total lie. Australia would not allow any evidence used in Australia to return to Alabama without the promise that Alabama would not seek the death penalty. And the state agreed to this, so they could use the evidence. They were also not allowed to mention his really strange behaviour, which I think would be a massive point, or the insurance claim, which again I think is a big piece of evidence that you kind of sometimes need. I don't know why they weren't allowed to use it, they just weren't. However, the judge threw out the trial before it even got to trial. He said there just wasn't enough evidence. There wasn't enough new evidence to justify a trial on US soil. And the murder charges were dismissed, and Tina's poor family never got a second chance at justice. Gabe, of course, remarried and tried to keep his head down and move away from the media storm because everyone fucking hated his guts. But public opinion never really shifted in his favour. Good. Even without a formal conviction for murder, many believe the case was clear, myself included. There was too many red flags, there was no effort to save her, and there was too much financial gain that he thought he was going to get from Tina being dead. Tina Watson remains buried in Alabama, and her father got her a headstone. And he made sure it told her story. It simply reads, Tina Thomas Watson, beloved daughter and friend, taken from this world on her honeymoon. And that is the end of today's story. It is a shit one because I hate the ones where you don't feel like you got justice. Yeah, he got 18 months, but he got 18 months for murdering someone. Premeditated murder, essentially. In my opinion, it's premeditated murder, but you might have a different opinion to me, and if you do, please let me know. I think Gabe's a fucking arsehole. If you couldn't tell. Oh God, I need a positive thought. Positive thought. I don't think I used it in my last one. My positive thought is that it's Saturday and I go on holiday on Monday. So I'm very much looking forward to that and seeing my mum. So that will be lovely. I just want to chill. So I was like, she was like, what do you want to do? I was like, nothing. I just want to lay by a pool with my Kindle and a smoothie. Like, sounds perfect. But yeah, that's it from me today. I will be back next week with the corn rake murder, so make sure you tune in for that. Hopefully I will look different and I'll be less sweaty because I'm so hot. But until then, make good choices, be careful who you marry, no one take up scuba diving, it's not worth it. I don't think in any capacity. I'm scared of the sea, so it's not for me. Please watch out for red flags. Sometimes they're obvious, sometimes they remain hidden for a while, but once they're there, they're there. Just be careful. Don't get murdered. I'll see you next week. Love you. Bye. Fluff! That's enough. Well done. You protected the house. Why does this bit of hair not go where I want it to go? Help. I didn't do any trigger warnings. Whoa. I'm not shutting the fucking windows. It's not happening. No. What is that? I've got 55 dives. I'm a certified rescue diver. So, sorry, I'm really itchy. Something's not adding up. Weird. What the fuck? Nothing pisses me off more in these kind of cases. It's like, Mummy, please do it for me. What the fuck? What? The insurance company said fuck off. Fuck.